Of the Monroe Bearcats with a record of 6-5 in league, visiting the Glacier Peak Grizzlies, who are also 6-5. That means these two teams are tied for fourth place, and they are jockeying for district playoff positions. I'm Mike Buckles, along with Todd Elvig, who is directing the whole process, which includes video, audio, and also he has a crew out in the truck that he has to be in charge of as well. STSPN's presentation of Westco Conference Sports is presented by Speedway Chevrolet in Monroe. Visit speedwaychevrolet.com, proud sponsor of Live Varsity Sports since 2015. We would like to thank all of our broadcast sponsors in helping to bring these games to you live. It includes Fred's Rivertown Ale House, Restaurant and Bar in Snohomish, McDaniel's Do-It Center Home and Garden, located in Snohomish, G&S Heating, Cooling, and Electrical in Everett, Adrenaline Fundraising, located in Everett, and Gene Johnson Plumbing, serving Snohomish and King County. We want to thank you for tuning in tonight. The starting lineups are being introduced, and give you a quick overview here of both teams, starting with the Monroe Bearcats, coached by Maddie Bishop with the record of 6-5. 10 seniors on the roster. The Bearcats still have a shot at third place, actually, as they will be playing the Mount Vernon Bulldogs a little bit later in the end of the season here, and they could possibly catch them. Monroe finished strong last year with the 9-game win streak that propelled Monroe to a district tournament championship and fourth place finish in state. Monroe beat Glacier Peak 3-1 earlier. Which team will show up, Shark or Minnow for the Monroe Bearcats?
They beat Glacier Peak 3-1.
3 games to 1.
That's embarrassing.
We're okay. We're getting set up
because they're tied. I mean, in the
they're tied now, but Glacier Peak's coming off a big upset over the Mount Vernon Bulldogs, and we're going to go to. And the announcer just did a good job, Todd, as she announced our names and broadcast, and we're getting ready here for the Pledge of Allegiance and or the Star Spangled Banner. There's no band, so I'm guessing the Pledge of Allegiance. So
we'll step away.
We'll step away, and we'll be right back after this with the overview of Glacier Peak here on STSPN.
Did you know that Speedway Chevrolet is part of the Lee Johnson Auto family? That means 84 years of serving you the LJ way. Need a truck? We have the perfect truck to fit your needs. Half tons, 1 ton, 2-wheel drives, and 4-wheel drives. Our finance specialists are here to help you, whether you have good credit or bad credit. We're just off Highway 522 at West Main Street in Monroe.
Lee Johnson Auto family, the LJ way. What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Nice job by Glacier Peak student Matthew Gordon. Powerful voice there, Todd, as he came out and belts out the Star Spangled Banner. We're getting ready here for Westco 4A Conference Volleyball. I gave the overview for Monroe before the break. Now let's take a look at the Glacier Peak Grizzlies, coached by Dave Thorne, tied with Monroe for fourth. And the Grizz are coming off a 3-0 upset over the Mount Vernon Bulldogs, who were firmly entrenched in second place behind the undefeated Lake Stevens Vikings. But the Bulldogs appear to be in a little bit of trouble here now, as they have 3 losses in league and could possibly be caught by either one of these two teams, depending on how the rest of the season plays out. But they still have a 2-game lead over these two teams, but Mount Vernon must play the Monroe Bearcats on the last game of the year. Glacier Peak has been hovering around the 500 mark the past several seasons, but the Grizz have 6 seniors and a good mix of underclassmen, and they would like nothing more to get on a roll and see if they can do some damage at the district tournament. Lineups are out there. Keys to the game tonight. Both teams have been both up and down. That's indicated by their record. They're pretty erratic and then suddenly turn around and look pretty good, so they've been inconsistent. Which one of these two teams can bring the focus and energy and perhaps more importantly limit unforced errors tonight? Second, net play. Going to be a battle for control of that net tonight, adjusting their attacks and also the blocks. That team that does that will have the advantage as the first serve on the way, with Glacier Peak having the service. And Jordan Sprink deals an ace to put the Grizzlies up 1-0. Softer serve played by Monroe this time. I'm going to set up Norton, and she goes off speed, just taps it over the block into the open area behind that, and we are tied at 1-1, and it's a side out. Brooke Barnes going to serve for the Bearcats. And already we have some question going on here at the scoreboard, so I'm going to take the opportunity to talk about my third key to the game, composure at win time. This could be a close contest tonight, and making the right play at key moments, and sometimes that means making the correct play as opposed to trying to make the great play. And there we have our first unforced error of the night as Barnes goes long with the serve, and it is 2-1 Glacier Peak. And that will send Sophia Soderblom back to serve. And wow, another ace, 3-1. This time Monroe's going to get an opportunity, and they set up the young lady who's had the hot hand over the last several games for the Bearcats, and that is number 5 in the middle of the net there, Kristen Norton, 6-foot junior. The score is 3-2. Sarah Day serving. Soderblom has to run that one down, and there is the over with no set. Barnes this time with a good set, played well by Glacier Peak, but taking a swing, Megan Perry kind of mistimed that one a little bit and left-handed that one into the net, and we're tied at 3. Sarah Day serving again. Glacier Peak going to set up. Nice block at the net. Good hustle by the Bearcats. That was Remy Atwood to get that, and the point goes to the Bearcats as Atwood with a good dive to get that one back up in the air. So it is 4-3 Monroe here in the first set. Sarah Day, one of our previous players of the game, sponsored by Adrenaline Fundraising. Don't forget to stay afterwards as we will select our player of the game, and there was a good kill by Ellie Lewis, who I was talking to Coach Bishop before the game. They have changed sides with her, playing her on the left side now, and he said that's given a lot of success for Ellie Lewis, and that was indicated right there. Soderblom just misses from the back line. She's pretty solid back there from the back line, one of the better players we've seen in the Westco. A little bit long with that one, 6-3 Monroe. So a run for the Bearcats. Nice set by Sprink, and goes off the block and out, so it's side out and point for the Grizzlies. Todd, you finally settled in there and relaxed a little bit, all ready to watch some volleyball, huh?
A little bit. Just trying to get the cameras, making sure they're doing what they're supposed to. Got the scoreboard doing what it's supposed to do, and yeah, I think the color's a little bit hammered on this camera that I've got live right now, so I'm gonna have to change that a little bit.
The service ace as the libero for Glacier Peak. Katie Hansen getting the ball over the net, and Peak playing the net really well. That one hammered down, I believe that was Emily Habib. And the side judge checking something out there as we're tied 6-6. And Frankie Haanen playing that one. It's just going to be an over for Monroe. Short set in the middle. Nice dig by Monroe. Going to have an opportunity. Good dive. Got it up in the air. Glacier Peak. Excellent hustle. They get the over, but another set. And that's going to go to Norton. And once again, she goes off speed, and using that 6-foot frame and the long arms just taps it over the double block again. 7-6 Bearcats. Got two cameras on the view tonight here as Norton goes back to serve. Nice play. Excellent set. Leads to Megan Perry Kill on the far side. Takes the left hand and goes back deep to the middle. Sarah Day could not get to it. Well placed on that. And a nice job by Glacier Peak. Monroe Bearcats get it over the net. Good hustle there by Gerges. And now Monroe again. Big swing. Ellie Lewis coming on. Couple of 6-footers there for the Bearcats. Krista Norton and Ellie Lewis. And also Zoe Yates has checked in now. Service back Elena Ruiz. Gerges with the nice set on this side. But the Bearcats get an opportunity here. Gerges high in the air, ran down by Soderblom. And Habib gets it over for Glacier Peak. Short set in the middle. And that middle zone has been open. And Zoe Yates exploiting that with a nice set from Brooke Barnes.
I think I got an arm rest here for you.
What's that?
Arm rest.
Okay. I'll need the arm rest. I'm looking at shoulder surgery coming up here in about a month or so. And Ellie Lewis again, big swing, excellent dig by Glacier Peak. So back and forth we go. Ellis again, my. She hammers that one. So 10-7. Ruiz still serving for the Bearcats. Service ace, Caitlin Wheeler. Not able to play that so her teammates could get to it. Got up in the air, but too far behind her. So sure it's 10-7. I thought it just was. It should be 11, I think. So they show it at 10-8. I wonder if there was an issue there with the board. I have some sort of a question. Dwayne Taylor, the side judge, checking. Well, it's we're going to stay with 10-8. Stratton, Addison Stratton checks in. See what Monroe can do. They go to Lewis again. And Glacier Peak comes back with the power swing. Kara Hunter with a good play. So 10-9. Stratton serving all the way almost to the sideline here. Finds Ruiz in the air, and boy, Monroe going to Lewis, and she's making good on that as she goes right at them, as she is having some good swings from the left side, and she is now back serving. 11-9 is the score. Gerges with a nice set, dug out of there by Monroe. Back line, Lewis again, this time off the net with power. She has been a force so far here in the first set. Another serve, Soderblom gets the receive. Monroe gonna get the setup, and they go to Lewis again, asking about the block, and that one was out. Correction, that was Sarah Day with the big swing on the right side. So no touch at the net for the Glacier Peak, and the Grizz have the side out, trailing 12-10. Emily Habib serving now for Glacier Peak. The students with their hands wiggling their fingers up there, but being relatively quiet here tonight. Not a whole lot of crowd noise so far. Decent crowd, though, to watch this. It's an important game, and Yates with the swing and the kill right to left, and Coach Matty Bishop has his hitters playing well tonight up front. Glacier Peak staying right with him. Frankie Haanen with the serve. And Soderblom sends it over deep. Good setup. Barnes going to go to the far side. Sarah Day. Good diving play by Hansen of Glacier Peak. And at the net, well timed, Kara Hunter, one of the 6 Grizzly seniors, timed that. Nobody there for Monroe, so Glacier Peak closes the gap to 2, 13-11, and Jordan Sprink checking in for service. Knuckler, Haanen plays that. Sarah Day with the big swing, and now Glacier Peak coming back into the net. The point's going to be
Carry. Is that going to be what that's going to be?
Came off the net. I think that's 4 hits.
Oh.
Because it went into the net. 13-11. Barnes back again. The thing I like about the volleyball and calling it is that with a few exceptions, it goes really, really quickly.
Oh, now it's score just went. Oh, that's right.
14-11.
We had that.
We're dependent on the scoreboard, of course, to help us out as Megan Perry finally gets untracked and hammers one. And we have seen her get on a roll for Glacier Peak before, side out Grizzlies, and it's 14-12. Soderblom, Sarah Day for Monroe, comes back to Day from the back line. Soderblom with the dig, and there we go. With Megan Perry with her second straight kill. I got the sign wrapped around.
This is the cheap tape.
I got the sign wrapped around here.
No, go. There you go. Press it down really hard there.
As the sign wraps me up, and we're tied at 14-14.
This is school district tape.
Yeah, okay.
So it's
that would be duct tape. Nice block at the net. Monroe going to get the over, though, so good rally going here right away. Several athletic plays. Nice dig by Tiana Kuntz of Monroe, but we got a double hit on the Bearcats, and Glacier Peak has taken the lead 15-14. And we call out a service ace as Brooke Barnes practicing her summer slip and slide. Goes well underneath the net after having to dive to get that loose one. Got some subs coming in for Coach Bishop. Avery Davidson checking in for Zoe Yates. 16-14 Glacier Peak. And Sophia Soderblom, the 5'8" junior, back to serve. And we have one of those delays that we talked about as they're trying to check rotation and subs into the game. Fortunately, not as long as an NFL delay. For those of you who watched a match on Monday Night Football. Soderblom, good pass to Sprink, and well played. Wheeler with the kill. Caitlin Wheeler, the 5'8" junior, and Soderblom 17-14 lead now for Glacier Peak. These two teams are well matched. Service ace for Soderblom, and Coach Bishop has seen enough. Going to talk it over. 18-14. In 18-14 with Glacier Peak leading, we're going to take a little break. Be right back here on STSPN.
McDaniel's Do-It Center is located in beautiful Snohomish, Washington. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, they are proud to provide the Snohomish Valley with exceptional hardware, tools, lawn and garden, and sporting goods products. Their commitment to delivering legendary customer service and their outstanding employees continue to make McDaniel's the best and one of the most recognized do-it-best centers in the nation. Stop by and experience for yourself the difference between McDaniel's and the big box stores. Discover why so many people are choosing to shop at McDaniel's.
Welcome back to STSPN. Mike Buckles here. Both teams out quickly after that timeout. Glacier Peak with a 4-point lead. Sophia Soderblom getting ready to serve, and once again, we're checking the score table with keeping track of the rotations, which I know a little bit enough about to know that I don't want to be the person who's in charge of that.
Is that kind of like the shot clock?
No, it's way more difficult than shot clock. You have to keep track because you have 6 things you're keeping track of, 6 spots on the floor, and where players are able to rotate in and out. Shot clock, much, much different. Although occasionally there are shot clock issues. Sometimes the button sticks or people get caught up watching the game. So I want to mention here that what we have scheduled coming up, I believe on Thursday you've got a volleyball match coming up. Is that correct? I think it's Everett at Snohomish.
Oh, that is what it is.
Yeah, Westco 3A. And then on Friday, and I did not look at the schedule, but you have football on Friday. Who do you have coming up Friday, Todd?
Glacier Peak, Mount Vernon.
All right, and here come the tunes. And I'd like to mention that as fall season starts to wind down, we are getting ready for winter season, which means boys and girls basketball. If you or anyone that you know would like to advertise on STSPN, we're always looking for sponsors. We run those ads during the commercial breaks, so you can contact Todd on the website here, and that website again is
Email is stspnlive@gmail.com.
stspnlive@gmail.com. Service ace Soderblom having a good stretch right here. That pass up near the net. And Lauren Larson makes the Bearcats pay for that, and it is 20-14. And one of the things I mentioned about these two teams is that they've had a season of inconsistency, and when things go well, Soderblom pulls out the creepy crawly spider serve, gets the 8 legs, crawls over the top of the net for
I don't
service
like
ace.
those points at all.
Okay. Excellent block at the net. Norton for the Bearcats. Norton again. And 4 hits, though, for Glacier Peak as they're playing that. Norton being very athletic there at the net.
Both of them have had those creepy crawler points. I just always, it just seems that you can't predict those.
Well, that's one of the unpredictable. It's like the 3-point bank shot from 25 feet, you know, and the kid hucks it up in basketball, and it still counts 3. Nice dive on that serve, and playing the over, Kate Hansen. Short set, Norton. Nice dig that time by Sprink of Glacier Peak. Going to go with Norton, no, the do not. Back to Lewis, and she's blocked. This time by Megan Perry. So Lewis, who had 3 or 4 kills in a row there, that time is blocked. And suddenly the lead is 7 as it's 22-15. And there's another one of those let serves. It gets over Lewis once again, flat-footed, just hammers it. Glacier Peak manages to get to it. Back row over. Glacier Peak going to have an opportunity. Set up there by Sprink. The hammer on the big swing. No score. Another opportunity. Back row this time. Soderblom, and a nice dig by Sarah Day of Monroe. Barnes high in the air and trying to make something out of nothing is Remy Atwood. Gets it over.
Good rally.
Monroe again. Back row. And now Glacier Peak going to get that set. Back row Soderblom. And pounds that one off at Sarah Day. Back row center. And another timeout as the score goes to 23-15. And Glacier Peak definitely has the momentum right now in the first set. And right now we're going to take a momentum break for a commercial. We'll be right back here on STSPN.
We are all frustrated with the high cost of heating and cooling our homes. At GNS, we are completely changing the way you keep your home comfortable. Because we are Snohomish County's premier Lennox dealer, we can design a perfect system for you, one that will save you a lot of money on your utility bill. The Lennox Home Comfort System creates the ideal home environment. Enjoy innovation in every season with precise, quietly efficient Lennox heat pumps that keep your life simply perfect. Call GNS Heating, Cooling, and Electric today or visit us at gsheating.com.
Here you go.
Welcome back. Kate Hansen, the libero for the Grizzlies, holding an 8-point lead, 23-15. And Hansen will have the serve near the center line. There it goes. Dropping serve. Barnes sets it up for Norton. They went away from her for a stretch, but Norton comes through, makes it 23.
Christy Norton back to serve.
It should be 23-16. They haven't put the point up yet. There it is. A little slow on the uptake there.
Mine was on.
Give me a little bit of element of doubt that I had the score right. Norton with the serve, nice dive. And Lewis, lefty Lewis, or excuse me, Megan Perry, who with the left hand, hammers that one off a Monroe player, 24-16, so we have set point. That's going to bring Monica Gerges back in. Monica going to go back and serve. Monica, one of sharing setter duties along with Jordan Sprink. Monica knuckleball, and it goes to Lewis. Bearcats hanging around, 24-17. Lewis once again. Side out Monroe, Elena Ruiz. They're back to serve. Waiting for the scorekeepers as they consult. Ruiz now serving. Gerges just drops it over, and Norton, check that, Yates gets it, but carries it on the push over the net, and it is 25-18. So Glacier Peak takes set number 1, and we're going to break. The teams will switch sides. So we'll be back right after this commercial here on STSPN.
Fred's Rivertown Ale House was established in July of 1994 and is located at 1114 First Street in historic downtown Snohomish. Each time you visit the ale house, you may expect to find new beers and new food choices. Fred's Rivertown Ale House is well known throughout the beer community. Oftentimes, we are the first choice for breweries to introduce new beers, limited or specialty beers, and beers you just won't find anyplace else. At Fred's, we like to say that once we get you through the front door, our friendly service, relaxed family atmosphere, and our quality food and beverages will keep you coming back.
It's like a loop machine. All around town, people trying to get down. It's like a loop machine.
Every year, thousands of groups depend on Adrenaline Fundraising to help reach their financial goals. Adrenaline Fundraising is about developing leaders through commitment, work ethic, and follow-through. Adrenaline has several products including gold cards, coupon books, cookie dough, donation programs, and many other options to help teams raise the funds needed for their programs. Adrenaline's new app called UpPay will help teams raise money while providing their supporters the ability to earn cash back on everyday purchases at places like Starbucks, Nike, Red Robin, and over 200 plus national retailers. Adrenaline Fundraising is this season's sponsor of the STSPN's Play of the Game Award.
Welcome back. Glacier Peak High School. Mike Buckholtz along with Todd Elvig. And Glacier Peak takes the first set 25-18 over Monroe. And we got, of course, Halloween coming up later this week. Drove through Snohomish, and there's some pretty magnificent Halloween displays out at the houses there, Todd. Have you driven through town checking those out?
I am not a, what do you call it, like when you go on Christmas to do a house tour? I'm not really a Halloween tour person.
It's just called a trick or. Oh yeah.
What?
Okay.
Why do they switch that on all of a sudden?
He's dancing. Calm down there now. We were talking about Halloween, and now all of a sudden you're up. Tiana Kuntz, Avery Davidson, Sarah Day, the libero, Frankie Hainan, and Zoe Yates is out there. Looks like Hainan's going to sub in for somebody. For Glacier Peak, it's going to be Sophia Soderblom, Lauren Larson, Monica Gerges, Emily Habib, Caitlin Wheeler, and Kara Hunter, and Kate Hansen, the libero, getting ready to sub in, and she does, going to replace Habib. Hannon subs in, replacing Yates from Monroe, and Brooke Barnes rotates back to serve. Dwayne Taylor, side judge, finally gets scores squared away. And we're ready to go here again as the sign starts to fall
I think
down a little
you're
bit.
probably leaning against it.
Barnes with an ace. That's how she started off the first set again. Todd chastising me about
I don't know. I'm just
knocking
guessing.
his sign down. It's true. I admit it. I was leaning against it. 1-0, Monroe. Barnes again. Played by Wheeler, set up. It's Hunter. And the ball goes to the judge in the stand, and the point goes to Glacier Peak side out. We are tied at 1. Second set, Glacier Peak leading. And this is what happened the last time we saw these two teams play. Glacier Peak took the first set, and then Monroe came back and won 3 straight. Glacier Peak has been playing well, however. Since that loss to Jackson, somewhat of a controversial loss, they have defeated Cascade and defeated Mount Vernon 3-0. And there's a big swing and a hit by Avery Davidson, which goes, I was going to say off the block. It's not off the block, as the line judge rolled it to the other side. Service there by Jordan Sprink. Nice set by Barnes, and Norton comes in. Got a couple of power hitters on both teams here. 2-2.
I forgot they were switching sides, and I'm sitting here giving the score the wrong direction.
Okay, well,
Of course, I don't know how you can screw it up 2-2.
2-2. And, well, that's how you screw it up. You serve it into the net and make it 3-2. So side out goes to Glacier Peak, unforced error. Soderblom for Glacier Peak, flat-footed. Hainan receives, Barnes sets it up. Davidson with the swing and hammers that one off of Jordan Sprink. So 3-3, passing has been an issue off of the initial serves here for both teams. We're at 3-3. And Krista Norton back to serve for the Bearcats.
What's George doing down there? He's going to change out the controller?
Service ace for Norton. What was your question, Todd?
Well, George, the gym manager, looks like he's going to try and change out the score or something. Or maybe they did change it out. I don't know.
4-3. Now they got the 30-second clock on as Norton goes long on that serve. Going to bring Hainan back in.
That's a new rule here in volleyball. They're going to go to a 30-second clock.
30-second clock. Try to get the referee discussions to be under 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay. And a double hit by the Bearcats. And we have seen this official before, and very, very consistent about calling the double hits and carries. Glacier Peak with the setup. Now Monroe with an opportunity. Hainan high in the air. Nice dig by Glacier Peak's Kate Hansen. Monroe with another opportunity off the double block. And Ellie Lewis gains the point, and side out for Monroe, Elena Ruiz. We're tied at 5 apiece. Ruiz back next to the midline divider, just to the right of that. Knuckleball back deep.
Okay.
Handcuffed Soderblom as kind of knuckles at you. I don't know if you've been on the receiving end of those before, where they start doing that, trying to swat out a mosquito. And 6-5 is the result. And Ruiz unforced error into the net, and we're tied at 6. So obviously, in going back to review keys of the game, and both teams, as I said, have been somewhat inconsistent and focus, energy, and limit unforced errors tonight. So maybe early in the set you can have a couple of those, but when it gets down to win time, and this is what's causing some of the confusion here is when the players have to sub in. So getting help
I thought
from
maybe
the side judge.
it was the guy here with the. Well, I'll show it next time he does it. We've got an airline flagger.
An airline flagger.
Well, you know, like the director traffic.
Okay.
What do you call it?
I'm not sure. Good hustle by a Glacier Peak, but the point goes to Monroe as Hansen tried to run that one down about 15 feet behind the end line. The flight director, I think. Is that what you mean? The
flight line
director, yeah.
Airplane aimer person. Park.
Okay. You can tell both of us went to flight school, as that one's tapped over by the Bearcats. We're tied at 7. Tiana Kuntz checking in for the Bearcats, and Addison Stratton going to come in to serve for Glacier Peak, who earned the side out on that play. I thought that over, it must have been out of play there. Back row, big swing for Monroe. Now a setup for Sophia Soderblom, and she hammers it off the block. Good block by Monroe, and just a little bit too far and out of play. 8-7 on that touch out. Brooke Barnes to Yates. Big swing, a little bit mistimed on the angle. 9-7 in Glacier Peak. So Stratton once again, and Barnes going to try with Yates again and hammers that one off of Stratton. So it goes to 9-8, and these two teams back and forth they go, evenly matched. The Grizzlies did a nice job of, as it got to the mid portion of the set, extending the lead out and holding on for that 25-18 win. Hainan serving for the Bearcats. Habib with the pass to Gerges, and we've got a double hit called on that pass. So it's 9-9. Which I know you speak some German, but that's points, not no to no. Okay. Service ace. As the Bearcats. Frankie Hainan pulls out the ace of spades and is up 10-9 now. Goes again, and unforced error ties it up. So I'm sure both coaches would like to see that cleaned up, as it just seems that sometimes they're trying to be a little bit too fine, and as you said, you know, getting 2 or 3 inches over the top of that net. And there's a service ace by Emily Habib of Glacier Peak, handcuffing the Bearcats. It's kind of standing flat-footed and take a late dive to try to get it. It's 11-10 Glacier Peak. This time the Bearcats get it short set for Norton, and she makes good on that. With the kill, goes back line. And I'll tell you what, you're actually going to have a better chance to get that if it comes right at you. If you've got to move one way or the other with the pace of that, you're going to end up losing the point, and the Bearcats have tied it up at 11-11. Soderblom, however, swings over through the double block of Monroe, and it's 12-11, side out, Glacier Peak. The 5-4 setter, Jordan Sprink. one of 6 seniors for the Grizzlies. 10 seniors on the roster for Monroe. And it hits the net. Does that disrupt things? No, it does not. Now Monroe going to have a really good opportunity here, but the pass goes awry and up at the net and tapped over. I believe that's Emily Scott who was in, who got that one. So it's 13-11, and Monroe with an opportunity there, unforced error really. Barnes setting up, and we've got a double hit on the set. Coach Bishop not liking that call. 14-11. Monroe set up. Nice dive by Hansen of Glacier Peak. Good block. Picked up, though, by Glacier Peak. Barnes going to go short, and it's Norton. She hits it where they ain't. Willie Mays style, and it goes to the back corner for the kill. 14-12.
She hits it where they ain't.
That's right. That's a Willie Mays quote.
Is it?
Yep. Baseball player. How do you get on so often? I hit it where they ain't. Sounds good to me. And there's another one. This time it's Ellie Lewis, who was a force in the first
They ain't
set.
there either.
Yeah. Same spot, actually. Back corner, near side. 14-13. Service for Monroe. Sarah Day with the pass. Go to Lewis again. She's low into the net. Tried to hang in the air. And you'll see that it's quite common as you jump up and maybe mistime it a little bit and you hit it on the way down. Dramatically changes the angle, and it is 15-13. Glacier Peak with the side out here. Soderblom, the back serving. And Norton with the overplayed by the Grizzlies, and two people, Soderblom and Sprink, crash into each other going for that. And that causes collision and the side out for the Bearcats, now trailing by 1 with Norton back serving. Sprink with a good pass for Glacier Peak. Now Barnes, high pass. Lewis, big hit, and over now off speed for Glacier Peak. Lewis again, blocked, but it goes out. Megan Perry at the net, but the point goes to the Bearcats as the Grizzlies. Megan Perry got it. Now, I was not leaning back against it. That's your side that time. 15-15, Norton. You need another piece of MacGyver tape there.
Well,
block at the net.
Really weak tape.
Ellie Lewis and Zoe Yates with the double block from Monroe. Side out, Norton is still serving. The Bearcats up 1.
We forgot our tape tonight, and this is borrowed from the school district, and I can tell they must have got a deal on it.
Okay. Side out, we got not sure what the call was. That 4 hits, I guess. 16-16 is the score. Service by Hansen of Glacier Peak. Swing by Sarah Day of Monroe goes awry under the net, and Glacier Peak once again, as these two teams have played close and get into the upper teens here. You can't get any closer than 17-17 as that serve goes into the net. So once again, an unforced error keeps it close. Elena Ruiz.
I think that's what happens with the poster and the tape is an unforced error by Mike Buchholz.
Okay. You sound like my wife. What a block for the Grizzlies. Megan Perry. Habib next to each other, right off of Perry down to the hardwood, but on the side of Monroe. Side out Glacier Peak, 18-17. Monica Gerges, 5'4" junior setter, back to serve for Coach Dave Thorne. Haanen with the pass to Barnes. Yates up. Soderblom with the good dive. Over it goes. Monroe going to have another opportunity here. Going to go to Lewis. Soderblom again. Gerges going to get it back to Soderblom. And now Haanen with the pass to Barnes. Short. Yates. And we just saw that, more or less the same play. And Grizzlies again having to play the over. This time, it goes long with Lewis, and she was wanting to know, I believe, if it got touched at the net. Discussion takes place. And they're looking up here. I'm sorry, guys, I can't help you. No, they're looking at the net. It just taking a look here.
What was that?
We'd like to make an announcement. Please, no flash photography in the audience.
Oh, some flash photography.
That's funny because I'm sitting here and they're talking about something about camera and I'm like,
uh-oh.
Oh no, what'd we do?
19-17, and that flash perhaps, and that break in the action changed maybe some of the focus and momentum. Unforced error, and the Bearcats are back within one. It's 19-18.
Who was doing the flash?
I don't know. I didn't see it. I was focused on the game. Sarah Day, long with the big swing. So both teams kind of sharing.
I think it's because the lights are so dim in here.
Good play, bad play.
They've got kind of energy efficient lights so that you know your camera stuff doesn't look that well in here.
So you feel like you need the flash, or if you're me, you just have the flash on, you're taking a picture of the mountains in the distance. Like that's really going to help, right? Sarah Day hammers that one long again, and suddenly the Grizzlies are up 21-18. So this is what happened last game. It was close into the high teens, and then the Grizzlies pulled away. Service ace, Addison Stratton into that middle zone. Timeout, Monroe, 22-18. We'll be right back here on STSPN.
It's like a loop machine. All around town, people trying to get down. It's like a loop machine.
Well, welcome back, STSPN. Mike Buckles here along with the executive producer, Todd Elvig. Glacier Peak and Monroe, Westco 4A volleyball.
I think their timing on their music is off because it comes on about the time that the timeout is over.
And Stratton, Addison Stratton deals another ace. I think that's two in a row here, 23-18. Glacier Peak won the first set, 25-18. And that one swerves out as it slider over the net. Monroe with new life here, side out, 23-19. Frankie Haanen getting ready to serve. The libero, it's a lob. Soderblom has it, goes to Gerges, gets it back, and off the double block. Now it's Monroe. Sarah Day off speed. Glacier Peak. Soderblom once again and hits it out wide. 23-20. And this is a big set for the Bearcats, as you don't want to go down 2-0 here on the home floor. And a nice play as Kara Hunter, quietly putting together a good contest. And we have set point Emily Habib serving for Glacier Peak. And it's received back to Habib. Gerges just pops it over. And Glacier Peak, Gerges with the seeing eye play, finds the opening, taps it over, and Glacier Peak up 2-0 here in this contest. And the teams will once again switch sides. Bearcats wearing their black trimmed in orange and white. Glacier Peak wearing their home whites trimmed in navy blue. We'll be back right after this commercial break here on STSPN.
McDaniel's Do It Center is located in beautiful Snohomish, Washington. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, they are proud to provide the Snohomish Valley with exceptional hardware, tools, lawn and garden, and sporting goods products. Their commitment to delivering legendary customer service and their outstanding employees continue to make McDaniel's the best and one of the most recognized do-it-best centers in the nation. Stop by and experience for yourself the difference between McDaniel's and the big box stores. Discover why so many people are choosing to shop at McDaniel's.
Every year, thousands of groups depend on Adrenaline Fundraising to help reach their financial goals. Adrenaline Fundraising is about developing leaders through commitment, work ethic, and follow-through. Adrenaline has several products including gold cards, coupon books, cookie dough, donation programs, and many other options to help teams raise the funds needed for their programs. Adrenaline's new app called UpPay will help teams raise money while providing their supporters the ability to earn cash back on everyday purchases at places like Starbucks, Nike, Red Robin, and over 200 plus national retailers. Adrenaline Fundraising is this season's sponsor of the STSPN's Play of the Game Award.
Here you go.
Welcome back to STSPN, and DJ Grizz down there dialing up some unusual combinations of music, starting about 10 seconds ago in the timeout, on a 3-minute timeout. But we are back.
Glacier Peak takes set 2 against Monroe, 25-20.
Emily Habib is serving for the Grizzlies.
off of Avery Davidson. 3-2. So honestly, really with the exception of a couple of points here, it's been a little sloppy in the third set. Better reception this time, but Barnes has got to run it down, and that's not going to get done as she had to go a long ways, and Davidson now going to sub out, and Josie Hettinga checks in for the Bearcats. 4-2, Glacier Peak leading. Sprink knuckleball serve goes right at Hettinga. Barnes going to play the over. An opportunity. Sprink goes to Davidson. She goes right to left on the angle serve. And 5-2. And if I'm Coach Bishop, I'm a little bit concerned, as Monroe has yet to find any sense of rhythm here in this entire contest. Anything that's consistent, and as I say that, they go back to Ellie Lewis, who had the rhythm early on in the first set, and she hammers one down the pike for a kill, 5-3. And once again, the side judge having to help the scorekeepers, and this time we have a spilled drink on the scorer's clock. So, go figure.
Play-by-play here. We got the referee's coming up from behind. He's got a rag there. He's wiping it down. He's got George over to the right of him, and he's just wiping all the back of that off there. We should have our replay running here. We could do this all in slow motion.
We should, and it's southpaw, as they're both using the left hand there, trying to pick up the drink. And we want to invite you to join us on Halloween. I got the Halloween special. Now, getting back to what I wanted to ask you, on Halloween, are you going to wear a costume at the game on Thursday, which is Everett at Snohomish?
Well, I should wear one. I would look really good in like a ballerina or something.
Well, that's what we always say when the score goes to 2-2. I ask if you're 2-2, and that's served by Lewis. Long.
I think that drink there was a ploy by Glacier Peak to.
6-3 is the score. Soderblom creeps one over the net, and we've seen several of those tonight. 7-3, and the young ladies, they try to cut it fine, 3 inches or so over the top of the net. So, and there's another one, same deja vu all over again.
You can't predict those, right? Because half a dozen, 1/6 the other, one's going to come back at you.
And nobody in that spot. This time they go to Davidson, high in the air, almost out of bounds. Davidson gets it back from Barnes and gets the over finally. Glacier Peak going to set up right side, and they go off speed with Caitlin Wheeler, and we're at 8-3.
It shouldn't be 9-3 or.
Soderblom again. Hainan to Barnes to Davidson. Now Glacier Peak. Sprink with the set. Goes back line. Monroe going to have opportunity, and Sarah Day hammers that one out from right to left. And
I knew I was right.
Coach Bishop, it was 9-3 on that. Yeah, they've been a little.
Well, they got the drink on the controller there, so it's.
Well, to clarify, the score is Glacier Peak 10, Monroe 3. We're in the third set. Glacier Peak leading 2-0. We're in the set number 3, and it's commercial break time. We'll be right back here on STSPN.
It's like a loot machine. All around town, trying to get down.
We are back. Soderblom serving for Glacier Peak with a 10-3 lead, and there is another service ace. As when we're talking about focus and intensity and rhythm, it's going all the way of Glacier Peak right now. Haanen finally gets it over for the Bearcats. Nice setup in the middle. Good block by Norton. Going to go back row. Soderblom flat-footed, and the pass goes off of Haanen into the net. And everything going the way of the Grizzlies right now. It has been, and Soderblom goes long on the serve, but now the Grizzlies have an 8-point cushion at 12-4. Norton, the 6-foot junior for the Bearcats. Hammers one over. Hansen plays it. They set it up. Big swing by Wheeler. Hansen going to play it again. And good play that time by Monroe on the block. That was Davidson. So 12-5. Norton again. They let it go. And right at the last moment, it drops off the table, hits the line. Norton deals an ace for the Bearcats. 12-6. This time they let it go, and it is long. It goes over the top of the green into the drink, and it's 13-6 Glacier Peak. I'm mixing my metaphors here on the... And Hansen pounds that one into the net, so Glacier Peak earns the side out finally on a missed play and another unforced error. And there's another one by Monroe.
They wanted to give that point back. Oh, man.
And some subs come back in for Glacier Peak. Kara Hunter and Monica Gerges. 14-7 is the score.
Let's have our audience say if they like the new high cam.
You get feedback on the camera.
We get feedback
different
on
angles
everything.
on everything. Uh-oh. Too long of a swing for Monroe, and they're just not able to play the angles. Celia Teague has checked in for the Bearcats during that last rotation. 15-7 Gerges serving. And back row Sarah Day, she finds the gap in the defense of Glacier Peak, and it is 15-8 side out for Monroe. Some sub going
where
to
somebody
come back.
ain't.
Hit it where they ain't. And Josie Hettinga, excuse me, serving for the Bearcats. She's a lefty. Dive by a Glacier Peak. They set up Hunter and trying to get it over. Can they? Yes, the Bearcats do. Soderblom back to Gerges. Nice setup once again as she goes behind her head. Barnes hits that one over and catches Glacier Peak. Instead of going for the set, she does a drop shot over the top of the net. And it is 15-9. Hettinga deals an ace as Glacier Peak just standing flat-footed on that.
They were just spectators on that one.
It's like somebody said pizza, and they all looked over to see what kind it was, and
Yeah.
there it went, 15-10. And Gerges gets to that one, and almost some miscommunication. She finally gets it over. Barnes going to set up. Nice dig by Hansen. Gerges going to set up Hunter. She goes off speed, and it's there. So Hunter getting a nice set from Monica Gerges and makes the most of it. And that brings in Addison Stratton. Good balance on the Glacier Peak team, leading 16-10. Coach Bishop trying to find somebody to spark the Bearcats, as Teague had that one blocked, and Stratton, an unusual unforced error. Yeah, she's been pretty solid from the service line over the course of the games that I have seen her play. That's a rare event. Haanen serving. Stratton going to play it for Glacier Peak. Gerges going to go to Soderblom. And do you have that camera down? Is that your camera down on the floor there to the left? Well, you're lucky because it almost got
bit.
Yeah, I guess bit. Tackled 18-11. Habib serving. Gets it over. And Gerges going to play it. Stratton. And now Soderblom. Now Monroe has an opportunity. Barnes going to go over just off speed. And we've got a carry called. So the synchronicity for
Is that a
Monroe.
word?
That is a word. It is not there for the Bearcats. And there it is as Norton gets the short set from Barnes in the middle. And she makes good on that. And I'll tell you what, Gerges, I think, wishes she had a shield out in front of hers. It's 19-12. Barnes back to serve for Monroe. It is Stratton and now Gerges and now Hunter. Another opportunity for Glacier Peak. Good block, Norton and Sarah Day at the net for the Bearcats. 19-13, and a couple of points here in a row now, and they've got their work cut out for them. It's Stratton. Gerges just gets it up in the air. Glacier Peak has to play the opening. Back row it goes. Sarah Day. Stratton with the good dig. Gerges and Hunter goes off speed, but Day is right there. So, and it goes over, and Lewis maybe tried to do a little bit too much from that far side as she had to take a step and a half up in the air and hammered that one into the net. Some subs come in for both teams. And Megan Perry and Jordan Sprink come back in, and it is 20-13, a Glacier Peak. Nice play by Monroe as they set up Lewis that time, and she makes good on that one. No one there for Glacier Peak. It is 20-14. Lewis back to serve. Lewis, a 6-footer. And very powerful on that serve. A lot of pace on it. Puts it in a good spot, and it ricochets off a Glacier Peak player, 20-15. And there's another one. Can Stratton get to it? She does. Over is played by Jordan Sprink. And Sprink tries to get to that one, but cannot. And Coach Thorne,
he's going to say, wait a minute.
Calls timeout. Yeah, want to stop this run, and we're going to go to a commercial break here. So don't go away on STSPN.
Did you know that Speedway Chevrolet is part of the Lee Johnson Auto family? That means 84 years of serving you the LJ way. Need a truck? We have the perfect truck to fit your needs. Half tons, 1 ton, 2-wheel drives, and 4-wheel drives. Our finance specialists are here to help you, whether you have good credit or bad credit. We're just off Highway 522 at West Main Street in Monroe.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Welcome back. Glacier Peak High School. Monroe trying to make a comeback here with Ellie Lewis serving, but the Bearcats are behind, and The timeout pays off for Coach Thorne and the Grizzlies as that service goes long. 21-16, Soderblom back to serve for Glacier Peak, and they're feeling a little relaxed with the 2-set lead. And there is a service ace off of Davidson, and Monroe has been inconsistent with their receiving on the serves all night long. It is 22-16. Either aces or passes that inaccurate passes, and there's one back to Davidson. She goes off speed.
Wow, that's good.
Keeps Monroe alive at 22-17. And off speed has been working for both teams tonight. Celia Teague checking back in for the Bearcats. Norton back to serve. It's Soderblom, goes to Sprink, double hit called on the set, so it's 22-18. Norton well behind the end line. Hop, skip, and a jump. Hammers that one. Soderblom service ace as it goes off of her. Coach Thorne maybe going to consider another timeout here. Going to let him play through it at the moment. 22-19. Norton into the net. And that is a missed opportunity, and Norton not happy with herself as the libero checks back in for her. Katie Hansen, the libero for Glacier Peak. She goes back deep. It's Davidson and Barnes. Back to Davidson. Soderblom with a nice dig. Sprink with a good set. Good rally now going here. There's a back and forth. Out of play. Oh, it was hit as it was heading out, and Glacier Peak let a point get away from him there. Nobody helping her out as she's watching the ball, not sure where it's going. And it is 23-20.
Spectator again?
Well, the teammates got to help you out, letting you know that it's going to be out. Soderblom doing a good job of receiving and up and hammering that one down. Megan Perry. It's going to get some subs back in. Hunter and Gerges on the rotation for the Grizzlies, and we are looking at match point right here, 24-20. So 1 point away from a three-set sweep. It's back row, missed time. Barnes gets it up. Teague, and the Bearcats stay alive as Teague gets a kill, 24-21. And that's going to bring Lewis back in, replacing
She looks tall.
Kuntz. Yeah, she's a 6-footer.
She's a footer?
6-footer.
In our family, we call them footers because
Footers?
we've got several 6-footers.
24-21. And service ace for Josie Hedinga. 24-22. Little pressure now on Glacier Peak here on this reception. Hansen gets it, set up, goes to Hunter. Barnes with the pass over to Lewis, and Lewis was offline a little bit, just plays it, and out near the net, Teague. And into the net, Hedinga from the back line, and that is going to do it as a 3-set sweep for Glacier Peak over the Bearcats. Teams are going to shake hands. The Bearcats fall to 6-6, 7-5 for the Grizzlies. They're on a bit of a roll. And don't forget to stay with us here for our postgame. We'll have the Adrenaline Fundraising Player of the Game right after this, so don't go away on STSPN.
Every year, thousands of groups depend on Adrenaline Fundraising to help reach their financial goals. Adrenaline Fundraising is about developing leaders through commitment, work ethic, and follow through. Adrenaline has several products including gold cards, coupon books, cookie dough, donation programs, and many other options to help teams raise the funds needed for their programs. Adrenaline's new app called UpPay will help teams raise money while providing their supporters the ability to earn cash back on everyday purchases at places like Starbucks, Nike, Red Robin, and over 200 plus national retailers. Adrenaline Fundraising is this season's sponsor of the STSPN's Play of the Game Award.
Welcome back to STSPN. I'm Mike Buckles, and I have our player of the game, one of the setters for the Glacier Peak Grizzlies. It's junior Monica Gerges. Congratulations.
Thank you.
On a good game tonight. Were you looking to get a little revenge on the Bearcats?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we came out really strong, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the strategy that your team was employing tonight.
Well, basically, we pushed as hard as we could until we got everyone down, and we really pushed as hard as we could.
So on your offensive sets, I noticed that you share your setting duties with, I got to check her first name, just Jordan Sprink.
Yes.
So do you play a 4-2 offense, or what offensive sets?
6-2, yeah.
A 6-2.
Yeah.
So you share the setting duties.
Yes.
Your team is showing some really good balance, and the Grizzlies are also on a roll.
Yeah.
Let's back up a game. 3-0 over Mount Vernon.
Yes, we did the same thing with Mount Vernon too. Yeah, we lost away at Mount Vernon, and we wanted revenge so bad, so we pushed as hard as we could.
So can you talk a little bit about how it is working you on your sets and when you're attacking? What sort of adjustments were you making tonight as a team?
Well, we were really on a roll tonight, so everything was perfect. And if we had a good pass, got a good set, and swing, kill it. And Sophia Soderblom really was helpful for us.
Yeah, she does a nice job on the back line for you as well. But also, it just seemed that everybody stepped in and contributed.
Oh, yeah.
We're not checking out the stats, but you do a really good job. Now, what's it called when you're setting and it goes behind you? Is that a reverse set, or what? What's the terminology for that?
If it's quick behind me, it's a back one. And if it's kind of high and like a little loop, it's a 9 or a back set. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, nice job tonight.
Thank you.
Good to see the Grizzlies on a roll, because, for one thing, you got the district tournament coming up here, and here's your shirt.
Thank you.
Todd's going to take a picture of you there. It's brought to you by Adrenaline Fundraising, and my good friend David Wright is the sponsor for that. And now, now that's happened to me about 3 times tonight, right? All game I was up there trying to call the game and putting that back up. So one last thing, anybody you'd like to give a shout out to? You're on camera here.
Definitely my parents. It's parents' night tonight, so thank you guys.
Yeah, okay. Well, way to go. That's the way to do it. All right, and our player of the game, Monica Gerges, with a big victory for the Grizzlies tonight as they go to a record now of 7-5. Don't forget to join us on Thursday as we have the Everett Seagulls playing the Snohomish Panthers starting at 7 o'clock. And thank you again for tuning in. That's going to do it tonight on STSPN, and you can wave bye to other people watching. All right, thank you.
It's like a loop machine.